Hello and welcome to the Cruise Sessions. I'm Lee from the marketing department here at the Cruise Line, and today we're going to take an in-depth look at SeaDream Yacht Club. Today I'm going to be joined by the sales director for the UK for SeaDream, Natalie Read. Let's get into that interview now. Right, so I'm lucky enough now to be joined by Natalie, the UK sales director for SeaDream. Welcome, Natalie. It's nice to have you here with me today.
Thank you.
And we just want to learn a little bit more about SeaDream today. So let's dive
Yeah,
in. Let's dive into it.
yeah, absolutely. I like that. Well, hello. Thank you for inviting me. We've got a great relationship with the cruise line, which is fantastic. So, SeaDream Yacht Club. First of all, we like to say it's yachting, not cruising, Lee. So there is a difference. And Attila Brynestad, our founder, he had a very strong vision when he set up the company 20 years ago. He wanted everybody to be able to go away and explore what it feels like to go on a luxury yacht. He actually set up a little company that I know you know well called Seabourn, and he sold that and he invested in the two yachts, and it's SeaDream 1 and SeaDream 2. We cater for just 112 guests. We have 95 crew, so pretty much 1-to-1 guest to crew ratio. So you can imagine the service levels when you're on board. That attention to detail is just incredible. Imagine being in a James Bond movie, but without any of the drama.
Without the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it feels like. Jumping off the back of the ship, using the water sports of the marina, and essentially traveling to destinations that are off the beaten track. That's what we excel at.
So, I mean, that sounds amazing. It's a really unique product. So, what are some of the other things that make SeaDream unique? I mean, like you said, small ships, 112 guests, 1-to-1 staff to
Yeah.
guest ratio. This is all amazing things. The size of the ships must allow you to get into some of the smaller ports as well, and go to some interesting places that some of the let's say bigger ships that people are used to seeing on TV can't quite get into.
Yeah. I mean, small is certainly perfect in this case. And Lee, okay, we're in the midst of a pandemic. We all know that. But we're actually riding this wave, sorry for the puns, pretty well because I believe, that people are looking for small, they're looking for intimate. Imagine your favorite cruise line or your favorite hotel. Let's keep it, so your favorite hotel, Lee, is just catering for 100 guests. So that intimacy and that level of service, and it's just things that we'll do a little bit differently. So some of the things that are unique to us. So in the Caribbean, we like to take you to some islands you've never even heard of, even if you've cruised the Caribbean hundreds of times. Well, maybe not hundreds of times, but a lot of times we will take you to some unusual islands. And what we do there is we host our caviar and splash parties. And they are basically champagne and caviar on the beach. So whilst we're all inclusive on the ship, we actually bring that all inclusive element onto the beaches. When we're in the Mediterranean, Thomas, our executive chef, because it's such a small team, he likes to get to know the guests. He'll come out and chat to them regularly, find out what their favorite meals are. And then not just that, he'll ask them, a selection of guests, would they like to go on a chef's walk with him? And he'll take them to go and see our suppliers. Now, can you imagine in Italy, France, Spain, wherever it is we might be, and they see Thomas and he is their best customer and he brings along like half a dozen guests. They are treated like royalty, and lots of try this sausage, try this cheese, try this wine, and it's not a shore excursion, so it's not gimmicky, or they're not trying to sell you anything. This is just Thomas taking you along to meet his suppliers, and our guests just have a wonderful time. I mentioned we've got the marina off the back. That's also unique to us. So even if you're not a confident swimmer, we say to all guests, you've got to give it a go. There's so many crew there to be around and watch you and just jump in. It's so exhilarating. So you must do that if you come on SeaDream. And then, of course, we have all the James Bond water toys, which are great. They tend to be used more in the Caribbean. Obviously, in Europe, we can't always have the water sports marine down. Depends, if we're in Venice. But say we're in the Montenegro Fjordlands, we're not allowed any motorized sports, but we'll get all the non-motorized activities out. So like the paddle boards, and the kayaks and things like that, and the swimming platforms. So that's some unique offerings. And then I don't think anybody else does this, Lee. You can sleep under the stars on SeaDream.
I was going to mention this because I think you hit the nail on the head a few minutes ago when you said intimate. That's a great word to sum up SeaDream.
Yeah,
It's such a
yeah.
unique feel. That's really, we said it's one-on-one, and everyone is personable. People know each other. It's such a unique
It
but
sounds
intimate
cheesy,
experience. It does, but it's hard
but
to put into
it's
words, right?
beautiful.
Without experiencing it for yourself. So, sleeping under
Yeah.
the stars sounds amazing. I've seen the pictures. I've not been on it, but it looks amazing, especially like you say, when you're in some of these, some of the Caribbean islands and stuff. It would be an amazing way to spend the evening.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say it sounds cheesy about the crew and everything, that they've been with us for 20 years, most of them, and it's a family on board. And that gets relayed to our customers, undoubtedly. And they love taking our guests and showing them where their favorite bar is. So like the captain will cruise around to like one of the beaches and get and take you to a bar that you can only reach by the outrigger boats. Or the hotel director or Christoph, the hotel manager, will take you on the bikes. And he's French, and he'll take you to a quaint little village that he absolutely loves. And it's just, like I said, the destinations, especially when we're talking the Caribbean, because we tend to go to similar, obviously, there's only so many islands in the Caribbean. We're just going to those same destinations, and they know them like the back of their hands, and they share that information with our customers. And then, yeah, sleeping under the stars, the cutest thing is, Lee, is you get given your own pajamas. Every guest, you don't have to sleep under the stars, though you should, but you get given your own pajamas, and they embroider your name into the pajamas, and then they're your keepsake, and you take it back home.
I
It's
mean,
nice.
it's just a special touch. It makes such a lot of sense. As I say, just built it feeds into that word intimacy that we spoke about earlier. You touched on some of the destinations you go to there. Where can we expect to see a SeaDream cruise going to? For those who don't know, I mean, anyone who's been a friend of the cruise line for a long time will know about SeaDream, because we're talking about you a lot. But where are some of those places that guests can expect to see on a SeaDream itinerary?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting, as we come out of this pandemic. And one of the things that we are seeing at the moment is we're seeing a lot more demand for the Greek islands. I don't know if you would say that as well.
For sure.
And also for the Caribbean. And I believe there's a few reasons for that. Everyone's obviously really hopeful that those two destinations are going to come on the green list soon. Fingers, everything crossed. But also, that's getting away. I talked about earlier about getting away from the crowds. There's nothing like a Caribbean or a Greek island itinerary to get you away from it. And we've all haven't had that beach holiday, have we, in the sun? And I think people just want to go away and relax and just enjoy themselves and go on a really stress-free holiday. So yeah, so we're seeing a slight demand for the Greek islands. And again, we'll go to tiny little islands you haven't heard of. But I mean, normally and ultimately our most popular is the Adriatic. Touched on the Montenegro Fiordlands. I mean, we might start and end in Dubrovnik. That's a kind of classic Adriatic route. Now, just to highlight the uniqueness of going on a yacht, we go to Venice and we anchor up where the river ships are. So that's how small we are. And you can see St. Peter's Square in the distance, and you can walk 5-10 minutes and you're in the heart of Venice. I mean, that's how close we are. And then when we're in Dubrovnik, that might be where your cruise ends or starts. We get right into the harbour of Dubrovnik. So you're sat there having dinner or lunch under the stars. Well, not lunch under the stars, but you know what I mean, having dinner out on the decking, and you're just people watching, and you can see. And so many times people get off the ship and they're like, oh, Thomas, or whoever our chef is, and at the time they come back and say, oh, we had a terrible meal last night, we're staying on board, and just be able to sit in the harbour of Dubrovnik and have dinner and people watch just on a yacht right there in the harbour.
So, I mean, this is really more like having your own yacht. This is the sort of thing you'd be doing if the yacht was yours and you were sailing in
Yeah.
yourself. So, which is amazing. And I like, you mentioned that it's a stress-free experience. The idea is to fully relax, and I think something that builds into that is the fact that you guys are all inclusive.
Yeah, yeah. So pretty much leave your wallet at home, and yeah, so all inclusive, all your gratuities, because we hate tipping, don't we, especially British people. We don't know how to do it. We also it includes all your fine wines, and I mean your fine wines, your specialty coffees and teas, your specialty dining, your fine dining. And one of the really nice things is you can dine inside or you can dine outside. And I don't know about you, Lee, but when I go on holiday, I want to dine outside under a balmy evening every single night.
I want to take
And
advantage of that weather at every opportunity.
yes, 100%. And you don't need to pre-book that with us. That's just not a problem. You can sit with friends, or you can have a little romantic table for two. But yeah, everything's covered. It's easier to say what's not covered. What's not covered is shore excursions and spa treatments, and Wi-Fi, actually. So yeah, those are the three things that aren't covered. Everything else, when you step on board us, unless you want like a $600 bottle of wine or something like that, everything else is covered. And like I said, all those water sports I mentioned, and really, I mean, it depends what destination you're on. If you're in the Med, you'll probably want to do a few more shore excursions. But if you're in the Caribbean, like I said, the crew will take you out on the bikes. You go out on the water sports. They'll drop you off and tell you what beaches to go to. So you don't even really need to do shore excursions unless you fancied hiring a private catamaran, for example, for the day, just you and your partner. So that or your family, whatever. So.
Well, I mean, it all sounds absolutely amazing. Now, being the UK sales director, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to tell us about your most recent promo.
Oh, well, thank you. We do have one actually, and it's for the Caribbean. We're all waiting, hoping that the Caribbean is going to be on the green list. But the nice thing about this promotion, it's not for departures until November, December, and January of this coming winter, so 21-22. And SeaDream don't normally do discounts. You will know that, Lee, from working
Oh,
with us
yes.
for a long time. And so this is, it's a good deal when lots of travel agents book it. So it's £570 off per booking. And yeah, like I said, it's for departures starting November the 26th right through until the 31st of January. And it's a British promotion because it's all our Barbados round trips. I think there's a Barbados, St. Lucia, and maybe a couple of San Martin trips, Margot Bay trips, but it's mainly all Barbados round trips, which is what we want. Nice, direct, easily flights from the UK. It is booked by the 4th of June, though.
But that's what we like. We like things that are easy. So if anyone's interested in those, look in the link in the description below, because we'll be linking straight to the page where you can see all the itineraries that are applicable. Remember, it was 4th of June.
Yeah,
Was the
by the
book
4th
by
of June.
date. So get in there before everything goes wild with people booking holidays in the in the coming weeks.
The
Um,
demand is there. Yeah.
oh, for sure. I mean, we've seen people very excited to start to travel again. So it's an exciting time for everybody. But I'd just like to say thank you for coming on with me and explaining a little bit more about SeaDream. I mean, SeaDream's always been a favorite partner of the cruise line, so this is amazing that we could talk a little bit more. And if anybody at home would like to know any more about SeaDream, feel free to look at the number in the description below and talk to one of our voyage consultants.
Thank you. Thank you, Lee.
No problem. Thank you.